So you've heard companies call themselves design and build. This is a situation where the client contracted a designer to design him a project, and he was supposed to build it, started getting quotes. I looked at the plans and said there's no possible way that this can be built safely. For example, on the deep end there were some pads on the design with 6-inch gaps between them. No reason for that. Nobody's going to build 6-foot tall pads. The Baja bench depth was wrong, the spa elevation was wrong, and just the overall entry to get out of the deep end was wrong. So we had to go back to the drawing board, took the initial design concept that the client liked, but actually made it work for real construction. So when you're hiring a company, make sure that what they design can actually be built, because it's easy to get oohed and awed and wowed by a fancy design, but if you can't build it, there's no point falling in love with it. So this project here, we're in Anaheim, California. Clean up. Yeah. All right, welcome back. I'm Vic with G6 here. Today we're in the city of Anaheim. We've shown you a bunch of pools during the daytime, but there's always a piece missing. So today we're lucky enough to get here right in time to give you a breakdown of the project, show you the finished results along with some of the lighting. So let me walk you through some of the features. Welcome back. I'm Vic with G6. Today we're in the city of Anaheim. We showed you a little bit about this project while we were in construction phase. Today we get to give you a deep dive, a walkthrough, show you some of the features and especially how cool it looks at night. So let me show you a little bit about this project here. This project was designed by another designer, and like we always say, you know, you can have the best design possible, but it's all in the execution, how you finish. So this project here, there was a couple details that we had to address just to make it possible to give the client what they wanted, right? There were certain things that were off on the design, the details of the benches, the elevations, none of it was making sense. There was a couple pads on the deep end that really didn't have a function. They look cool on the render, but realistically nobody needs those. They were misplaced, so we made a couple decisions. These homeowners are in construction as well, so they really know what they want. They like things that look nice, and we worked with them to make it exactly what they wanted. So this project here is a full custom build, ultra modern vibe. Everything's tile wrapped, max entertainment. So we have bench seating all around, as well as an access point on both sides of the pool. So you can have your whole family around the tables, wrapped in marble or porcelain wrap, as well as rim flow spa. So this spa is completely wrapped, so you don't see any grout lines. This was fabricated and installed on site without having the need for a bunch of grout. So anytime you have black tile and you get pieces that are either 6x6, 1x1, you're gonna have a lot of grout, and those are areas where scale and calcium can pop up. If you notice, we have a 4-inch gap between the coping and the spa, so this looks really cool, especially at night when the water flows. So one of the favorite pieces for me when we build a spa, we try to make it as an art piece. So even if you're not using your pool, even if you're not using your spa, when you look out, you look at your yard, you can admire it even when it's standing still. So it's got to look good from every angle, and I think this pool hits that mark. If you look on the Baja bench is just essentially a shallow area where you can put some loungers, sit down. If you got little ones that are learning how to swim, you can watch them there safely before the pool drops off to about 3.5 feet. So this Baja bench is 12 inches of water, a couple umbrella holes in it, and this allows people to lay out half in water, half out, and keep an eye on the little ones. The coping on here, this is a slate white out of NPT. So this is all porcelain wrap tile. It follows the same tile down the water line. So this is a 12x24. Initially we had some ideas to have a bunch of strips and all that. You know, everybody's doing that nowadays. So we try to kind of scale back on all the trendy stuff. So we decided to go a little bit more plain, put a solid piece of turf on the left with just some sand finish concrete, followed by some coping that's towel wrapped. The raised wall, we'll show you a little bit. They have a pool house that has the same material. They had some that was on the side of the house, and we said, hey, it would be a good transition just to use what you got, give it a smooth transition from inside to out, and that's what we used on this wall. We're able to save the client some money there. The wall has 3 LED shears. So these things, you can turn them on. One thing on the shear descents that a lot of people forget, like these plans had, they had one pump, you know, a bunch of jets, a pool. What a lot of homeowners don't get is that if you're running your spa, your water, in order to get hot, you can't send any water to your pool. So when you're in spa mode, if you want to be able to see your shear descents or your water features, you got to get a dedicated pump. So I see a lot of plans, a lot of details that forget that, and we have to tell the client, hey, I expect that you want these on when you're in the spa to get the full experience, therefore you need another pump. So that's a note for you guys. Along the back, here we're gonna have a standalone patio cover. So we have a couple olive trees, some fire features. Eventually there's gonna be a fireplace in the wall, TV wall with the pergola. Right now we're highlighting the pool. The finish on this is a black mini pebble with Puerto Rico blend glass. This is a mix of teal, dark blue cobalt. We put some abalone shell in there as well. So it looks really good at night. As soon as the sun comes down, you'll see that the sparkles from the lights, and we'll give you a full deep dive on the lights of this project. They wanted to match the vibe of the house, so we put a retaining wall or a planter wall. This is the double-sided wall. Kind of boring just to put one, so we did 2, put some plants in there, wrapped it in smooth stucco. So anytime you build walls, right, people are like, well, how much does a block wall cost? Well, there's a lot of questions to answer before you can get to that number. You have to know what size of block, what's the finish, are you just building it with raw cinder block, or are you getting a split face decorative colored block, or are you wrapping it in stucco, whether it be coarse stucco or smooth stucco, or if you're gonna do any type of stone veneer along the side. So all those questions you got to think about before you just say, hey, I have 60 feet of block wall. No 2 block walls are the same. Another big issue is if a block wall is retaining or not. If it's retaining, usually the footings are going to be a lot bigger, so you're going to have more cost in rebar, more cost in concrete for your footings. But really everything's in the detail is how you waterproof this, how you finish it on the outside. So this is a little 4-foot planter wall. You can build this without a permit, fill it in with some plants, put some lighting in there, and you're off and running. So there's your pool. We got a couple fire pits on the edge. These are manually turned on, so we have valves on both sides. We had extended, so anytime you're doing custom, they don't make any pipes that extend that far, so we had to fabricate a custom piece of equipment so we can extend that valve and turn it on from both sides since we had a tree in the way. But it looks cool, and check it out. So there you have it. You saw this pool in the daytime. It looked great from all angles, but you know, just like an egg with no salt, a yin with no yang, or a peanut butter with no jelly, you gotta have the light. So don't cheap out. If you're thinking about a quality lighting system, thinking about these 320 Hayward lights, you have full control, automation. You can select the frequency, the brightness of all your system, and it definitely brings your project to life. So thanks for watching. We're out here from Anaheim, California, Bruce residents.